It is that time of the year where a lot of filmmakers are attempting to make a new Christmas horror classic, and sometimes, like today's example, they're quite successful at it, and other times, they're Christmas Bloody Christmas.
Are you retarded?
And of course, today I'm talking about Bruce Longo's new SOV Christmas horror classic, A Corpse for Christmas. And I wasn't familiar with Bruce Longo. In fact, this is my first movie from him I've seen, and let's just say that I'm now a converted fan.
You owe me a drink to get this f***ing fish taste out of my mouth.
And like whenever I cover these new indie horror films, I won't go into too much details about the plot, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. And already from frame 1, this film knows what I like. It starts with the opening credit sequence, which is completely fully stop motion animated. And I just have to applaud Bruce because the effort that takes is quite incredible, especially when it comes out this good. Then we meet our main character, played by Casper Melted Hair. Some of you might be familiar with her if you've seen a couple of Donald Farmer movies. And anytime she's on screen, I personally love it. She has this hypnotic quality to her acting and line delivery. I just really liked her performance in this one. She plays the character of Izzy, this kind of lost soul who just broke up with her boyfriend because, as she puts it, she thought he was fucking his cousin.
Well, he kicked me out because he was fucking his cousin. At least I thought it was his cousin.
And she's going to meet Wyatt, who's this guy who has a room for rent in his apartment in Philly. And the city of Philly becomes more than the backdrop to the film, it kind of becomes its own character. Especially since this film feels like it's trying to imitate New York in the 80s with the very gritty and dirty style, which is not very present in modern New York City. However, Philly is still dirty, and it probably still smells like piss.
Where am I?
And since she has cash and she's willing to pay for a month in advance, well, Wyatt can't really say no. We then figure out that Wyatt, like most of the characters in this movie, plays in a band. A metal band. Which this is gonna be a theme that's throughout the entire movie, because this movie is a lot of metal performances. And that is probably my biggest gripe with the film, is that even though this is a long film, it doesn't feel long. However, a lot of the music performances kind of feel unnecessary and they could have been cut out. It almost feels like the director just knew a lot of metal bands and he just wanted to put them all in his movie, including his friend with a spider web tattoo on his bald head, which made me giggle. Because bald people.
Hey, well, yeah, I gotta get on stage in a minute.
Over there, Wyatt asks Izzy if she wants to do a bump of cocaine, which of course she does, because every character in this movie also really likes cocaine, and whiskey, and beer, especially Dickel whiskey, and especially a can of beer that I didn't recognize, probably a craft beer from Philly. I don't know. I'm not from around there. Over in the green room, Wyatt tells Izzy that his wife has cancer and she's going through treatments and it's really been hard on their relationship. Izzy, since she's very innocent and very lovely, offers him more money to support his wife, which he accepts. We then later find out that it wasn't about his wife's cancer. In fact, she doesn't have cancer, he just wanted to buy more cocaine.
I'm soaked.
And they really connect well together, which brings me to another point that I love about this film. After a while, I kind of forgot that this was supposed to be a horror movie, and I just kind of vibed with it. The way the dialogue is written, the way the characters talk to each other, really feels realistic. And this brought me back to the 90s independent film movement, where it was more about the dialogue than the action in the film. And Wyatt brings Izzy to a Christmas market because this is a Christmas movie after all, even though most of the movie happens after Christmas. And you can see that Izzy is really into this whole Christmas thing. And they talk about nostalgia and the way they celebrate Christmas and traditions. And again, I was captivated by their dialogue and their relationship. Eventually, they fuck. However, they get caught by Wyatt's wife, who doesn't have cancer and she's quite upset at the scene she just witnessed. understandably. Then Izzy talks to her, and you can see that Wyatt is just kind of a piece of shit. And since you know she's renting a room and it'll make things awkward, she sleeps in the car, she thinks about committing self-death, but then the next day she calls her father, played by Joel D. Winecoop. And that is another one of my favorite scenes, because Izzy's father is quite the character.
I can do the dishes myself. I don't really give two rats' ass about the fucking dishes. I just need some woman to take care of me, whether you're my daughter or not. We keep it the family, you know?
After that, well, Izzy just wanders around and we get to our main story. She meets another man in another metal band who is named Dylan, I think. Holy shit, I just watched this movie. My memory is going to shits. Dylan, not Dillian. That's a porn star I like.
You're the one that's eating candy from strangers.
And again, their relationship, their dialogue, the way they interact is so goddamn good that I forgot that the man is a serial killer who likes to cut women when he has sex with them because it makes him feel good. And that's where the title comes up. The man is quite the necrophiliac. And the rest of the movie will be Dylan and Izzy going on a wild ride of romantic comedy and a lot of murder. That's getting annoying. That's why I don't wear Santa hats.
Jesus Christ. Are you retarded?
And in between that, we get more actors that you might recognize, such as Asueri Angel, who does a great job. Some of you might be familiar with them if you've watched a lot of Sam Hell movies. And of course, we have David "The Rock" Nelson, who some of you might be familiar with, and the others, you're lucky.
And your family are enjoying the holidays.
I don't want to be mean to the guy, I'm not a fan. And I know Bruce Longo and his crew are big fans of David "The Rock" Nelson, however, I can't stand him. And the scene that Mr. Nelson is in could have been cut down. It overstays its welcome, like most of Nelson's projects.
Come on, fight.
So, what are my final thoughts on A Corpse for Christmas? Now, obviously, I adored it. Even though I have some issues with it, most of them are just, related to me. I'm just not a metal fan, so me having to witness a lot of metal performances, not really my vibe. However, if you're a metalhead, there's a lot of great music in this. And if you're a David "The Rock" Nelson fan, you're probably gonna like his cameo. Again, these are just personal issues that didn't take me out of the film because I really fucking love this one. When I saw the runtime, I was kind of scared. I was like, what, 103 minutes for this type of movie? But I ended up just not realizing that it was 103 minutes long. Like I said, the dialogue, the characters, their interaction, the story, just everything sucked me in and I couldn't keep my eyes off the screen. Not everyone could have pulled off this film like Bruce Longo did. I mean, there is a scene that's about like 5-6 minutes long of the characters just walking in a Christmas market, and I didn't even realize that it was this long because I was again captivated by everything. And then there's the style. I mean, I love SOV films, and I think a lot of my audience does, but what I especially like about this film, since this is modern, it doesn't try to blink and wink at the camera like, hey, look at us, we've made a modern day SOV movie. In fact, the movie doesn't pretend to be set in the 80s or 90s or early 2000s. This is a modern movie that stylistically, the director decided to shoot on video. The degradation doesn't feel unnatural. It's not just a digital camera like mine with a filter over it. It's actual SOV quality, and it looks pretty amazing, and it goes very well with the type of film this is. You're following two psychopaths on their adventure as serial killers, so it just adds grit and just sleaziness to it all. So yeah, do I recommend this? Abso-fucking-lutely, especially if you're a fan of modern day indie horror. This is probably one of the best I've seen this year. Right up there with Gris Chuck, Sound of Summer, and of course, I almost mentioned the Beelzebub movie, Hillbilly Holocaust, not the Beelzebub one. Please do not watch Beelzebub. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.